Welcome back to the light. This is part 8 in the series of the readout of the probable cause court documents in the case of Rebecca Park. Now, one comment before I dive back in. In part 7, the audio was kind of missyncing at the end, and it would not let me edit out that part 8 would be the final part because it's not. I still have like another 5 full pages to read through of these documents. So if it was just completely taking away the audio if I tried to edit it. So I just left it because I didn't want to lose like almost 10 minutes of video and have to re-record it. Let's be real. So that this will not be the last video in this series. I will let you know when we actually do get there. So I just wanted to make that correction and apologize for the audio missyncing at the end of part 7. Now, let's get right back to where we left off after part 7, starting part 8. Bradley described that the actual stabbing began when, quote, Courtney just grabbed the knife and started stabbing at her. The knife had been down on Courtney's right. He said she stabbed her in the chest as far as he knew, but said he jumped out of the truck when Courtney started swinging, so he wasn't sure. Bradley knew they were on the trails and said he could take officers to the scene. Detective Sergeant Voss asked at what point did they realize that Rebecca is dead, and he identified that it was after Courtney cut the baby out of her. He said that Courtney tried CPR on the baby. Bradley said that Rebecca was not in the truck when Courtney cut the baby out of her. He said that Courtney tricked her to get her out of the truck and made her start walking after she had already been stabbed. Rebecca walked behind the truck, but is unable to run due to her pregnancy. When Detective Sergeant Voss asked what Courtney did to kill Rebecca, he explained that Courtney had Rebecca laid down as she was still alive, and she cut the baby out of her. Bradley said he was beside the trail telling Courtney that she doesn't need to do that. That's not right. They do not have the bag or the cooler that the baby is eventually put in at this time. Now the baby is cut out, Bradley said they just left Rebecca there. He identified that he couldn't tell if she was dead or not. Courtney decided that they should head to the house, and Courtney is holding the baby on her lap as Bradley drives. Bradley said the baby never took a breath and he never heard the baby cry. It took about 5 minutes to get back to the house. Bradley stated that Courtney took the baby into the house and into the bedroom, where she is trying to perform CPR on the baby, which is on a towel on the bed. He also said he tried to perform CPR on the baby by doing chest compressions and breathing into his mouth. He said this went on for about 15 minutes after they arrived at home. Bradley reported that Courtney went to the kitchen, got a garbage bag, and placed the baby in a garbage bag and went outside with the baby. He identified that the cooler was in the bed of the white truck, and he saw the baby go into the cooler. He explained that the baby went into the cooler because the cooler can be zipped up, and it had the baby in it, and dispose of the cooler and not be seen. Bradley said that the same night he is with Courtney, who is now driving the truck, and they went and disposed of the knife first, and they put the baby in a GFL tote at a house north of their residence where there had been some logging done recently. Bradley denied burning the seat covers from the truck and said Courtney burned them. He did say he cleaned inside of the truck using a gray bucket and some bleach and water. He denied cleaning the floor and believes there will be blood on the floor of the truck. Bradley denied placing the phone on the 2-track, but again said he found the phone on the 2-track. He did agree that he had the 550 phone on his person on Monday, November 3rd, 2025. Detective Sergeant Voss confronts Bradley that if Courtney told him to do this, we want him to tell us now. He denies that he stabbed Rebecca. When Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked Bradley about the card found with Rebecca, he said that he didn't know anything about it and couldn't recall what it was, but knew it was on social media. He did not see a card when he left the area. He also did not see another weapon or tools when he was at the scene or anything else. Bradley doesn't know if anyone has been to the scene where Rebecca's body was since she was killed, and he denied that he has been back to the scene. When Bradley was asked about Rebecca not having shoes on, he appeared surprised by that. Bradley gives a description of where Rebecca's body was in relation to the trail and where things occurred. He denied that Courtney had asked him to position the truck so the truck lights would assist. He said the lights shining around the side of the front of the truck was enough illumination for Courtney to cut the baby out. When he left, the body was still on the same hill. Courtney covered Rebecca with leaves, but denied branches were placed on her. At the time, the baby was on a towel next to Courtney. Questioning the presence of a towel, Bradley is asked if he thinks Courtney planned this, and he said, quote, "I have a feeling she did, but never told him of a plan." Bradley did not see Courtney place a towel or the hunting knife in the truck. Using a Wexford County map, Bradley showed the route of travel he took and approximately where they were. He agreed he could take officers out and show them where things had taken place on Monday, November 3rd, 2025. While discussing if there was any blood on any of the clothing he or Courtney had been wearing that night, he identified that when they got home, Courtney changed into a nightgown. Previously, he had said they had gone out and disposed of the baby and the knife that night. Now, when asking about this, Bradley said that the baby stayed in the cooler that night on the back porch. He now reported it was Wednesday, November 5th, 2025, when the items were placed in dumpsters, specifically because Thursday is garbage day. He said that it was Courtney who placed the cooler with the baby in it in the garbage tote. They were in the escape when they discarded the knife and the baby. Bradley said one of the things that he believes Courtney said after she couldn't revive the baby was, quote, "This biatch killed my baby." Bradley reported that he watched Courtney put the knife was placed in the glove box of the Ford Escape, and he believes that there will likely be blood located in the glove box. On Sunday, November 30th, 2025, at 20:50, Detective Sergeant Voss and I began a second recorded interview with Courtney Bartholomew. As she enters the interview room, Courtney reports she's ready to go home. When it's pointed out that she is saying it's all Bradley, when asked what she thinks Bradley has been saying, she reported that he is probably saying it's both of them. And we confirm her statement and say that we know they are both present. Courtney denies that she wanted the baby for herself. She admitted that Bradley brought the baby to the house and told her that the baby was not breathing. Courtney said she told him to call 911, but Bradley said they weren't doing that. She denied getting involved and said it was because she had Bentley and can't put herself in a position like that. Courtney reported that the day the drones were flying around, the baby was in the metal shed out in the back. Courtney said she knew that Bradley was going to try to pin this on her because he had told her, quote, "Biatch, I'll take you down with me," end quote. Courtney told us that Bentley can prove that she was home on the 3rd. Courtney is confronted with her explanation that Rebecca willingly got into the truck with Bradley to go for a ride, that he then murdered her and cut the fetus out. When confronted with cellular telephone data and location data, Courtney announces records. Apologies, the grammar in this document is horrible. Whoever typed this up. When confronted with cellular telephone data and location data records, Courtney announces that Bradley had taken her phone so she couldn't call the police. Courtney is confronted with her version of events being difficult to believe. Eventually, Courtney said she's going to tell us what happened. Quote, "Brad took her. He brought the baby back. I tried. I didn't. I couldn't. I tried to save my grandson and began to cry." Detective Sergeant Voss asked how Bradley, quote, "took Rebecca." Courtney said he pulled her out of the car and she got in the truck. That is going to be the end of part 8. I will see you over in part